Good morning, mountain bikers!
I'm Chris Wessels, this is everybody else, and you are watching MTB Trail Review. Today we're out here with Alex from Chainline Bikes for our cornering clinic. Everybody just give me a thumbs up, thumbs down real quick. How was it? Yeah, we're filming this after, so you know it's going to be awesome. Watch the video. We'll see you soon.
Body position is something that we literally beat into everybody's head. If you've ever done a lesson with me specifically, you know body position is we harp on that heavily. So does anybody know where you should be on the bike at all times?
The foundation of a good turn is good body position. So after discussing body position with us, Alex set up a couple drills to make sure that our body was exactly where it needed to be before we started turning our bikes. He also had us practice pedal position. For flat cornering specifically, it made it very, very clear that everything we learn about flat cornering and everything we learn about cornering through berms is different, and that it's really important to separate the two. After we all practiced good body position and good pedal position for both right and left flat corners, Alex had us all gather back up and talked about the why and explained the physics behind why we chose the position for our bodies and our pedals that we chose.
It goes for flat corners too, because you can really load that outside foot when we start cornering to maintain traction and actually drive weight through the turn. And so with everything that we just did right now to kind of reinforce that, we're actually going to start testing it. So just like the last time, straight up, leaning the bar over. I hit the cone on purpose.
After a solid demo and giving us a goal, Alex set us loose to actually practice. We got several reps in on both left hand and right hand flat turns. Alex was there for each turn to give each rider feedback. The entire time he was coaching us on what we can do in order to improve body position, to improve bike position, and to make sure that when we actually take our skills to the trail, we're safe and we'll feel a real difference when we actually hit our first turn up on the mountain.
Trying to do the same thing by leaning with our bike, we would all just be flattening on the ground. So, we're already getting to the most effective part of flat corners, is being able to keep our weight in the same spot. And if you've ever taken a lesson with me before, or if you plan to in the future, we're gonna beat it into your brain. Center is not only the safest place on your bike, but it's also going to be the most effective place on your bike. So if we can manipulate that body position to stay consistent throughout everything we do on our bike, it's going to be the most transformational for all of our riding.
After lots of reps and a little bit more coaching, we combined both our left and right hand turns, and we saw how fast we could get through this slalom course. After we all had the chance to go through the slalom course several times, meaning several more reps for both left and right hand turns, we took our new skills up to the trails.
Braking and whether or not my technique is right, well, this is going to expose all of that. Okay, so when you come through here, the reason why I use the rock is not so that we don't hit the rock, because at the end of the day, if you hit the rock, you're still on the trail, you're fine. But the goal is to be able to come through this corner with the proper technique, and with us looking through the trail, looking forward, we're able to then manipulate where our bike is going.
After Alex explained our new goal, we all set out to achieve it. It felt really good to get our tires in the dirt after all of the practice in the parking lot on the pavement. And the skills we learned there transferred very easily to the dirt, and the physics made a lot of sense. Myself, and I think everybody else, were definitely feeling a lot more confident about our flat corners.
You do another lap, more power to you. It's easier with the little skis you can actually. Yeah. So, as silly as it is, again, I'm going to say it over and over again. You can really feel where your controllers need to be. Okay? when we look at, you know, corner speed, corner entry, you know, when brakes enter the conversation, right? Where should we be on our brakes? Are we allowed to hit the brakes in the corner? Should we be hitting our brakes in the corner? What happens if we do, right? Well, if we kind of relate that to how we make financial decisions every month, right? It's not about what we make every month, it's what we keep every month, right? Because after our bills are paid and, you know, we get to the end of that bill cycle, we know how much money we can put in savings, how much money we can invest, you know, all of those things, right? That makes sense? So it's a lot like entering a corner, right? I don't care how fast you can go into the corner. I want to know how fast you can get through and come out of the corner.
After our explanation, we got a demonstration from Eddie to show us how it should be done. Then we all got to practice over and over and over. Starting from the lower cones, the goal was to hit the berm with no brakes. Then once we got that dialed, we moved up to the middle set of cones, and the same goal applied: hit the berm with no brakes. Once we got that dialed, we went up one more time to the last set of cones, which were right below the rock, and the goal was to hit that berm with no brakes. Going into this drill, I know that I was feeling really nervous about hitting these berms with no brakes, which may sound silly now, but when you're approaching it, sometimes your natural inclination is to brake. I know that some other people were feeling the exact same way. But with these back-to-back clips of starting at the first set of cones, then the second, then the third, you can see the progression. You can see how each person was able to let go of their brakes and trust the turn. And I think this really just comes down to good coaching. I'm going to be honest. A lot of the things that we went over today are things that I already knew or was familiar with. But having Alex there to help me put it all together made a world of difference. And I can imagine that a lot of other people were feeling the same way. Because once again, Alex was there for every turn to give us feedback on what we did well and what we can change. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that feedback in order to help me out. And then came my favorite part of the clinic, right here.
Yeah, Chris? See you cross that corner? Woo! Yeah!
I don't think anybody has ever said that I have strapped the corner before that. And it was all because everything kind of came together in that moment. So thank you again, Alex. That was awesome. So first, I just want to know, have you done a lesson with chainline before?
This is 4.
4 for you?
First one.
First one, cool. So this is perfect, 2 different perspectives. Now, if this is your 4th one, you've probably learned stuff in the past, I'm assuming. How does this compare to the other lessons?
I keep learning. I think retaining for me,
Yeah.
I think that's just that they're getting reps on reps piece of it.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
So a lot of these concepts are familiar, but obviously I have work to do.
Perfect. And as your first one, was it worth it?
Totally.
Okay.
100%.
And would you take another one?
Yeah, definitely.
And do you feel like what you learned you can transfer to the trails immediately?
Yeah, starting from scratch and then building on for the next few months just to keep repping.
Nice, that's awesome. All right, thanks guys, I'm glad you had fun.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this look at our cornering clinic. I feel like this really unlocked cornering for me. It felt so good to kind of finally put everything together and really feel a difference when hitting the trail. We're hoping to do more of these. So, if you're interested or have any questions about it, comment below, or you can call Chainline Bikes and ask for Alex. As always, thank you for hitting the trails with us, and we'll catch you on the next one.